Oh, Mr. Carter, can I be the one? Can I be the one? Okay, I can do it without the accent, that's okay. Oh, lose the laugh? All right, I can lose the laugh, that's okay. I can do that too. Okay, I can do it without the laugh and without the accent. Oh! And you know what? I'm gonna show you the special sweat hog way to get in the building. Not for you, for me. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Valley Arts Center. The place where your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to the same old place we used to laugh at. Who'd have thought your dreams would lead you right back here where they need you, at the Valley Arts Center. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And welcome to Living Figuratively, the show that asks the question, why not fill your home with the fascinating faces and figures of people that you don't even know? Why not fill your home with figurative art? Each week, I bring you to different places where you can see figurative art, sometimes in my own home, sometimes in my studio, and sometimes I take the show out on the road. Today, we are being welcomed back to the Valley Arts Center in lovely Chagrin Falls, and we are here to see the Illustrious Alumni show. What, might you ask, is an Illustrious Alumni? Okay, so the Valley Arts Center is a gallery that has shows and stuff like that. They also have classes, and quite a few classes. That's kind of their bread and butter. They have kids classes, teen classes, adult classes, evening classes, daytime classes. And so all the Illustrious Alumni are artists who have taken, at some point in their lives, taken classes at the Valley Arts Center in Chagrin Falls and gone on to illustrious, successful careers in the arts. So, without further ado, let's get started. This one right behind me is a beauty by Judith Brandon. Judith Brandon, actually, she is an artist from the area, from the Cleveland area. She actually went to the Cleveland Institute of Art 1 year ahead of me, or I can't remember whether she was my year. And when she was a kid growing up in Chagrin Falls, she took classes at the Valley Arts Center. And she said that it gave her, as a quiet kid, a voice that you could do with her art. In fact, she even has this little horsey that she did as at her very first ceramics class here at the Valley Arts Center that she saves just as a sort of remembrance of where she came from and the original love that she had for creating art. She's not a ceramicist anymore. She was when she was a kid. She is actually an artist who draws. She makes these major, gigantic, monolithic drawings that are multimedia drawings, all about the weather. All about the good and bad of weather, and there's an environmental theme that is sort of the undercurrent to all her work. She talks about the devastation and the rebirth that weather and the environment can give. This one right here is called Anger Serenade, and it's basically just like a delicious tornado and major weather event. She's actually had her work in weather-themed shows, which, believe it or not, they have those too. I didn't know. One of the interesting things that she does, among the many other interesting things, she incises words and drawings into her major drawing. And incising basically means to carve into this very hefty archival paper. And so it's sort of a subtle second reading. This one right here, it's Anger Serenade. I looked very hard through it the other day when I came to look at the works. One of the sets of words that I see incised here, and I don't know if you can even catch that, it says, "Out your love." And I thought that was particularly poignant because I'm sure it is a reference to the fact that Judith Brandon has been together with her partner for 30 years, as long as I've been married to my husband, and the law only just, maybe 5-6 years ago recognized their right to be married. So that definitely is it's a subtle statement in this big, beautiful, piece that would look gorgeous in somebody's home. And one of the beautiful things also about her work is you have it in your house and you keep noticing things. Like there's this little scene down here, this little, maybe it's a scene, maybe it's like a desert kind of a thing. Maybe it's Kansas, the wilds of Kansas. I don't know, but there's a lot of second, third, fourth, fifth readings in her work. This one, Anger Serenade, has a very, powerful sort of scary weather impact. This one over here is called Make Believe. It's a triptych called Make Believe. And this one has a very positive, hopeful weather feel to it. In fact, the words make believe just make you, it makes you think about positive things and like, oh, if I could only have this, and fantasize about good things. She's got this, the beautiful blue sky. She's got the weather that seems to be doing positive things, like it's glowing and kind of maybe a replenishing rain instead of a devastating rain. One of the cool things that Judith Brandon does with her work also is, because of her love of animals and the environment and endangered animals especially, she hides these incised little, they're not even incised, they're little very subtle drawings of animals in her clouds. And that this falcon, or a peregrine falcon, I'm not even sure what it is, it's a sort of a major bird, is in all three of these. And that to me is a very cool thing, because in abstract art, there's always this cliche of the sort of uneducated viewer looking for the ducky, like they're looking for the shapes that the abstract art makes. And then the abstract artist is like, no, and there's no ducky. It's all about, juxtaposition and colors and shapes and, the frailty of man and all this stuff. But there's no actual ducky. Well, Judith Brandon, she gives you the ducky. She says, here's the ducky. And then you can pat yourself on the back that you found the ducky, and you can move on and enjoy the whole rest of the piece. So I'm very proud to be in the show with Judith Brandon. So she's inspired by nature. Charlotte Lees is a sculptor of huge acclaim also in the area, who, when she was younger, she actually took her first wood carving class here at the Valley Art Center. With, I can't remember his name, the name of the artist that she took it with. But she said that he was very patient with her, because she never wanted to follow the assignments. She wanted to do her own thing. And he was very patient with her and started her love of wood carving. She uses natural forms. This one is called Leaves, I believe. It's, I can't even see the sign. Oh, there's the sign. Long Leaf. This one is called Long Leaf. And it has this iconic totem feel to it. It's also got painted patterns on it that, to me, are reminiscent of like Peruvian or South American different kind of patterns that you see in their pottery and art. So the solidity here, it's a real nice counterpoint to the air and space in Judith Brandon's work. Charlotte Lees has another totem over here, and this one is a true totem, like a totem pole. Essentially, it's an iconic thing that honors your ancestry and honors important symbols in your life and thinking. This one is called Hanna Maidens, and it's also a figurative totem, because she's got these iconic symbolic women that are interlocked and interlinked, which speaks to me, like, because we're women have to protect each other, and they're literally holding each other up. And the different paintings on there are like the henna paintings in the Indian culture, Indian from India culture, and it's really just a very beautiful symbolic totem-like piece. All right, let's come around. We're going to go to see Kimberly Chapman's work. Kimberly Chapman, you've seen her at many of the other jury shows that I've covered. Her two boats here that she has are from the Ghost Ships series, which is all about the refugee crisis and refugees leaving their homeland to come to America, and because everything's like really bad there, and they're willing to risk the heartbreaking danger of an overseas ocean or whatever, going across the water to get here to a place where they might not even be welcome. These particular pieces were part of a larger setup that I saw when Kimberly had her show at the McDonough Museum in Youngstown. And she had these little people with it too. They were the stargazers, which you've seen. I can't remember now which show of hers had the stargazers, but there were these little people with gold faces, symbolizing the hope of a new land, but also the fear that the new land isn't going to be welcoming to you. But these ceramics they're just classic Kimberly Chapman. She's got the white porcelain bisque. She's got the gold accents on it. The gold where the ore where it dips in the water is dipped in gold. That's just a poignant little detail, and they're just gorgeous. Kimberly Chapman. Oh, and I didn't even notice these little holes around the edge, the little portals. Kimberly Chapman is actually a recent graduate of Cleveland Institute of Art, 2018, but she graduated as a grandma, which a very cool grandma. So she has been making up for lost time, big time, because in the past year, she's already had a museum solo show, and she's got 3 more solo shows lined up in the very near future, which I think she's crazy, but good, more power to her. It's just amazing that she's done that, and so she definitely is an illustrious alumni. And when she took classes here, it was in the 1980s and the 1990s, sort of in that in-between time where, before she went back to get a full-time BFA at the Cleveland Institute of Art. And she took classes with a potter whose last name is Stephanie Glazin, which that's a great name for a ceramicist, and also Tracy Mead. And she said that this is where her love of working with porcelain got started. So that was wonderful. We'll skip over here to H. Craig Hanna, who is also an illustrious alumni. And H. Craig Hanna, actually, he busted out of the whole Cleveland art scene and went to get his MFA at the School of Visual Arts in New York. And then from there, he now lives in Paris and is a living, working figurative artist. So maybe Paris is where you want to go if you want to live figuratively. I'm going to show you this painting. This is the only other figurative painting in the show besides mine. Before I even talk about the painting, which is awesome, I want to show you the presentation. So he's presented it here on this little tiny easel that's spattered with paint. And I was wondering, okay, it's actually loaned by a collector, so this didn't come all the way from Paris. It's by somebody local, I assume, who has a piece of Craig's in their collection. But for an artist, we have spattered easels all over the place, so it's not exotic or cool. It's like a mess until you take the painting off and frame it and make it, be fancy and special. For regular people, like a collector, to have a painting on an easel like this with the paint spattered on it, it's actually kind of this exotic, gritty thing it's a neat way to present it. It's acknowledging that you have a painting by a painter who has painted it, which, yes, that's kind of obvious, duh, but when you really think about it, you're thinking there is a human being, there's a hand behind each and every little piece on this on this painting here. The hand works, you know, did this swoop here. They did the pentimenti. Pentimenti is where there's evidence that a piece has been painted, and you see the old, you know, the drawing lines that they put, and the structure lines that they put it together with. And he has actually painted it on green formica, of all things. Can you imagine that? Like, this would not be a countertop that I think would be picked. It might even be a discontinued sample. I don't know how this beautiful painting came to be, but it is a beautiful, beautiful way to present it, I thought. I just love the way he's painted it. And the other thing that's kind of interesting is, because it's presented this way, it begs you to come around to the back. So you come around to the back of the painting, and it's satisfying back there. You can see the easel, you can see the tape lines behind it, or maybe where the countertop was removed. I didn't touch it, so I'm not sure what exactly those lines are, but they're the same color sensibility as the easel itself. So it's really a very, you know, just a very lovely way to present a absolutely beautiful painting. Now, the next thing, we're going to skip over here to see, this is Jeremy Gallante. He is an animator, and he's also a professor of animation at the Edinburgh University. Okay, well, right now, this is actually what I was planning on doing. I didn't realize it was going to happen so quickly. These are paintings by H. Craig Hanna here. These were, because of, you know, Paris and shipping and all that stuff, they could not be here. But these are some of his beautiful acrylic works on plexiglass. And plexiglass is an amazingly difficult thing to balance work with. It's infinitely changeable, because you put the paint on, you can just wipe it right off, put it on, wipe it right off, but you can always wipe it right off. You can't just, you know, okay, it's dried, so like tomorrow when I go back to it, I won't, you know, I'll be able to leave what I did yesterday. It's always wipeable. And so that makes it very, very ephemeral. And he's done just a beautiful job with it. So now, this one right here, we're gonna look at Jeremy Gallante's work. Jeremy Gallante is a professor of animation at Edinburgh University in Pennsylvania. And let's just have some fun watching some of these animations on his reel. He's worked for clients that you've heard of. He's worked for Sesame Street. He's worked for They Might Be Giants. He's worked for American Greetings. And he does this multimedia animation which goes back and forth with, you know, hand-drawn stuff, live action, computer-drawn stuff. It's really, it's just a fun video reel to watch. So if you come into the gallery, you can take a gander at this beautiful, fun little reel to watch. So while he is rolling, let's roll on to see Kate Kaman's work. Kate Kaman is a sculptor who lives and works in Philadelphia now, and she is very much inspired by natural forms too. That's kind of a theme going through here. I'm not sure whether Chagrin Falls or Valley Art Center inspires people by natural forms, and that's why it all happened. But these two right here are called Harlequin. And this one's Harlequin, and this one is Jack. She's got two, they're the same shape, but they have different names. This one is bronze, and this one is resin with gold leaf. And they just have this real beautiful solidity to them. Kate Kaman, a lot of her work that she's doing now is gigantic public sculptures, but they're very ephemeral and floaty, and like collage kind of things, or mobiles that hang from the ceiling in public art places and in corporate collections. So she's doing a lot of amazing experimental stuff in addition to traditional media. Another piece of hers right here, this one is also cast resin with gold leaf. It is called Jewel Weave, where she has hyper enlarged something that you might completely overlook. It might just be a little piece of a weed that is laying on the sidewalk or in the grass. But she really brings attention to it because, you know, she's treated it so monolithically, and the beautiful leaf, gold leaf on top of it really makes it just an iconic, beautiful sculpture. And it happens to be sitting right here between my two pieces, which are my Epiphany of Eve and Epiphany of Pandora pieces. I spent a whole episode talking about these on New Year's Eve, so you can buzz back and watch the whole thing. The essential, these are two works for my goddess project, and I'll just give it to you in a total nutshell. There are two works for my goddess project where I basically compare the origin stories of Eve, who is the first mortal woman created in Judeo-Christian religion, and Pandora, who is the first mortal woman created in Greek mythology. When Eve was created, she was instantly married off and told not to eat an apple from that tree, the tree of knowledge. When Pandora was created, she was instantly married off and told not to open this particular box, not to open this box. So both of them, being curious women, disobeyed. Eve, when she disobeyed and ate the apple, the whole, we got kicked out of paradise. And, all hell broke loose. When Pandora disobeyed, she unleashed all the evil things into the world, and there was worldwide devastation. It was horrible. So the moral of both of the original stories is that women shouldn't seek knowledge. That is the myth that I want to bust with my Goddess Project painting. So I show Eve eating that apple, eating many apples, and delighting in the knowledge she has found as symbolized by books. I show Pandora delighting in the knowledge she has found in the box that she was forbidden to open, and it's also full of books. So that's my Eve and Pandora. If you want to hear all the details and more about it, look up my New Year's Eve episode. Now, I probably should tell you my Illustrious Alumni experience with taking classes at the Valley Arts Center back in 2004, when my son, who is filming me right now, went to kindergarten. He's my youngest. I started taking life drawing classes again at the Valley Arts Center. I had taken them in art school, but I had probably a 12-year hiatus where I wasn't painting or doing life drawing because I had a graphic design business, and I was also raising three boys. And so I started back, jumpstart my art career by taking life drawing classes with Bud Deal at the Valley Arts Center. And if you want to roll back to the very beginning where Art Korshak is outside, the painting that is behind me that I started off with was a self-portrait of Bud Deal. He's the one that painted that beautiful mural that I was walking in front of outside the art center. So Bud Deal's life drawing classes were absolutely perfect for me. They were unsentimental. They were you got the wrist wrong here. Get the wrist right. He could point out what was great. He could point out what was bad. It was exactly what I needed, and I knew that every single Monday night from 6 to 9 I would be painting come hell or high water. So that is my Illustrious Alumni experience at Valley Arts Center. And I think I took classes here for several years. I kept on going, and I think that life drawing is a good lifetime practice for a figurative artist. And I'm looking forward to getting back into some real life drawing after my 1-year COVID hiatus from not painting from life. Now, for the question that you all are sticking around to find out what the answer is to, what the heck is a whiskey painter? Okay, the Illustrious Alumni Show shares the gallery with the whiskey painters. And there are, if you can believe it, 214 whiskey paintings here. So, what's a whiskey painter? It is a proprietary group that was started in the 1950s at the Akron Society of Artists, which is just south of here in Cleveland, where the premise is that you use water-based media and you paint after 10 o'clock at night by candlelight, and you dip your brush into whiskey or alcohol, some form of alcohol, and you, presumably extra painting, you might imbibe from the whiskey as well. So maybe you're drinking a little bit of your watercolor too, I don't know. But it's a very exclusive organization where they've limited it to 150 members, and somebody has to die for a new whiskey painter to join, and you have to have a current whiskey painter sponsor you. And they're right now, I checked on their website, and they're not taking applications, so hopefully, that means that they're all young and healthy right now. And basically, you also have to paint small, so everything has to be 4 by 5 or smaller. And that's what this whole collection is. There's 214 paintings, all very reasonably priced to sell, all teeny-weeny that you can tuck in anywhere and give as a gift. So I highly recommend popping by the show if you can, find ones you love. If not, check the website, find ones you love. You can look through all of them, you'll see how reasonably priced they are. I'm going to just pop through and show you just a couple ones that I would be buying if I were buying. And maybe I will, who knows. Right here, Stephen Sens has these gorgeous little abstracts. They're almost landscapes, they're almost a scene, they're almost, leaves, like the sunlight glistening through the leaves, but not quite. They just have this elegant modern beauty to them, and at $150 a piece, they are priced to sell. So those are awesome. We'll skip on over here. Kathy Weiner, let's say. She's got these gorgeous little winter scenes. I'm a sucker for a good snow. These beautiful little winter scenes in the mountains here. They're just super, super cool. And over here we have Ron Bien, and I probably butchered his name. He's got this gorgeous sand dune picture. I mean, can you imagine if you have a beach house, how cool that would look there in your beach house, if you have a beach house? Then, let's come on over here. Mick McAndrews. These ones, every single one of them is really pretty darn awesome. And they're teeny weeny weeny. These guys are a little bit higher priced, but I think worth it because Mick McAndrews seems like a real professional. They've got this gorgeous calligraphic quality to them. I mean, that looks like, to me, a little Francisco Guardi, one of the famous Venetian painters. And it's just, he's just got some gorgeous ones there. All right, let's walk out into the hall. Okay, right here, we've got Jerry Smith has this gorgeous calligraphic look to his pieces. They're really, really just, I love the calligraphic quality of them. That's where it looks a little bit like maybe Chinese writing, with the different brush uses. And the way he signs his signature has that calligraphic, like, sort of like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh kind of feel to it. Coming down the hall over here, we've got Darlene Jackson, who actually is an instructor right here and master watercolorist right here at the Valley Art Center in Chagrin Falls. So you could actually sign up for a class with her, I believe. My personal favorite on this wall is this one right here with the pears. I love the way she's put it together with the red in the back, and then she's got the pears in this very dramatic composition. Just beautiful. And she's got them framed beautifully with this double mat. And I think school's out. I think school's out now. Time to go. Time to go. We've got to go back out and hang out in the courtyard, or hang out in the schoolyard with Vinny and Freddie and Juan. So I want to welcome you guys all back, and thank you for joining me tonight for Living Figuratively, for the Illustrious Alumni and Whiskey Painters Show. Next week, be sure to come back because we're going to do a little time traveling. We're going to go west, all the way west of the Cuyahoga River to see the time travel show at Bay Arts by artist David King. and I am looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to go see it and scope it out tomorrow, and I will present it to you next week. So, join me next week, same bat time, same bat channel. What is it? It'll be April 15th, the day after tax day, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all come back now, you hear? Oh, oh, oh.